Hey everyone. So a while back in one of Lex Will's videos, he mentioned that don't get dismayed or don't get caught up with that whole Jerusalem over there in the Middle East, that it's not the right city, it's a mirage, right? Alexander I hope I'm saying this right, Alexander the Greek, I believe he explained that city was a Roman fort, that one of the walls that are left there that they worship and still call the Wailing Wall is a Roman fort that was left. But he mentioned that the city was going to be destroyed, and he said it's in the old Bible. Just read your Bibles. So as I was reading it, I believe this is, I mean, I never have asked him about it to confirm, but this is the verse, I believe, that it was what he was pointing out, and I probably won't ask him, because if I ask him, that means I'll just become lazy and I won't read the Old Testament, So I'm just going to keep reading and keep seeing and trying to find the different point of views on things. So I like going back to the Catholic version and reading that, and along with the Brenton Septuagint. But for behold, I will begin to bring evil upon the earth, wherein my name is called upon. So this is what got me here. For behold, I will begin to bring evil upon the earth, right? Wherein my name is called upon. So the evil, now just correct me if I'm wrong, all right? But the evil that will be called upon will cause us to call upon his name. Now, I know I've read that before in other passages where it tells us that it's going to get so bad here that that's when we'll finally call on his name, which tells me we know his name. In my opinion, we just are not all on the same page on, on what his name is. Yeah, I guess, like, there's those that know it, and then there's those that are saying, no, that you're not right, it's this, it's this. So whenever all this evil comes down, it's going to be like, we're going to flip the script and we'll all be like, hey, this is the right name. You know what I'm saying? It's the only way for him to hear us, it seems. And shall you be as innocent and escape free? You shall not escape free. For I will call for the sword upon all the inhabitants on the earth, and shall the Lord of hosts. So that's the Catholic version. But I wanted to get to the ones where it actually says the word cities in there. Let me see here. Because I was looking at the word city, and that's why I thought it might have been this verse. Let's see. For lo, I will begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and shall ye be utterly unpunished? Yet ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for the sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. Whew. So there it is, I think. And I think that has a lot to do with what we're going through now, or what we're in now. The chasing of us by the dragon. Check this out. I don't think, I'm going to start it right here.
1,000 discussions that we had. The real problem that they have, as Kissinger says, is there's just too many people on the planet. And 40% of the world, 2 billion of us, exist on less than $2 a day. The summary of the Global 2000 report I put up on my website, nohoax.com. But if you look at it, it makes sense to get rid of people. So what they said, they're...
You hear that? It makes sense to get rid of people. Now, he's supposed to be speaking out against this stuff. but he's in agreement with it. Do you hear that?
We're going to make godlike decisions on who lives and who dies. Now, obviously, some of the meetings we sat on, we were planning on using neutron bombs on the major cities.
We were planning on.
Most of what they call.
Hear that? We're planning on doing this. And he's supposed to be an outsider that's supposed to be speaking out against it. He's almost like that chick that Lex showed us, where I'd seen this video in the past and I didn't catch on to it. But it was one of those chicks that claimed she was getting abducted by aliens and they were boinking her and she was having all these babies by them, right? And she was getting picked up at night as a child and they were taking her off to some location and they would come back and get her whole family later on. And it was just the way that they said it. Lex was just pointing out she's in on the whole thing. Like it's a family thing. It's a family. Like the way she started wording it, it just breaks it down to where there's supposed to be these outsiders, or people that got out and are speaking against it, but yet they're not. They're still in it. You could just like when you start to pick up on their verbiage and their language, they're still fully in this.
Oh,
you actually heard this?
I sat in on the meetings. I was in the game big time. In fact, I was making such a mess, they decided rather than kill me, which they could, they just invited me into the inner group and asked me to be the finance chairman.
Look how happy he is. Look how he's bragging.
At that point, I probably would have been in, Secretary of the Treasury or something, whatever they
Oh, yeah,
do
just
me.
whatever.
What I was doing prior to that, so, making it right, I would volunteer to become a president of a company, and I'd go in and liquidate it. And we get rid of the expendable containers. That was my job.
Expendable containers meaning human beings?
That's right.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's
well, that was
the
a terminology.
vernacular, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what we used at that time. I mean, it went from there to useless eaters today. So you're happy with it. You're a human resource. So,
right.
Which, all you are is part of the commodity. Even in the business sense, you look at it, you have a cost. Labor. What is labor?
Yeah.
Human resource.
Right.
When you're going to put together some kind of product. Well, the inside of the game, when we started using neutron bombs, today they figured that biologicals are much cheaper. Mm-hmm. They're still planning on, the plan is to get a war started in the Middle East. And they're still planning on using a neutron bomb or one of the bombs that they've got developed on Israel, and that's to begin World War III.
So when I heard that, when I was watching this interview, use that neutron bomb on Israel, that's where Lex's, when he brought it up, like almost what was it, a year ago, when he mentioned, that city's going to be destroyed, so don't even pay attention to it because it's not even, the actual place that we're supposed to be looking, And then, like I said, this verse over here, just Jeremiah 25 and 29, is what comes back to mind. That city's going to get wiped out, and just because it's over in the Middle East, are we going to sit over here and say, oh, that's so sad, whatever, But it's like the butt whooping is going to come to us next, right in front of us.
Which is all in the cards, and it's going to happen. They even put a monument up to this whole program. It's called the Georgia Guidestones.
Look at him. Do you see his smile?
Outside of Atlanta.
Ooh.
And they've got it all set down there. It's all in 8 languages. Basically, it's fait accompli as far as they're concerned.
See the smile on his face.
Thing going in the Middle East, and it's not going fast enough. I mean, Carter put this thing in, so we have the Plan 2000 with the war starting in the year 2000 in the Middle East.
Right.
Reduce the population of the planet down to 500 million, have one world currency under the Homeland Security, or FEMA, if you want to call it. They're going to declare an emergency, which are going to shut down everything. My friends, my CIA associates, I don't even call them friends anymore. CIA is crooks in action.
Yeah.
They're all professional liars.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be if they have that job.
Yeah.
So you have to look at what they're doing. Anyway, they're so concerned, they're leaving the country too. Most of them are going to Latin America. Meanwhile...
That's also struck me. Most of them are going to where we're supposed to be at. Boy, we can't get away from them, right?
They're closing in every day right now, just closing in to make it so we're going to be set up in these enemy prisoner war camps. I published a book. It's called Chaos in America. In it, I was asked to build an enemy prisoner of war camp. I put the contract.
Do you hear that? He was asked to build it. Now check that out. Like, he's supposed to be speaking out against this stuff. Like, that's what just blows my mind. In this book. So you can read it for yourself. This is in downtown Las Vegas.
right on the railroad tracks. Says enemy prisoner of war camp. They're all on top. And they're building them all the way across the United States right now. Bush signed an executive order taking the old forts in the army places that we shut down to get those organized to hold the so-called dissidents.
Old forts, army places, what was it, prisons that had been shut down, old Walmarts.
Now, what's the definition of a dissident? And the problem is that we're going to enslave ourselves because most of the people want to keep having food coming in, and you're going to follow the line. You're just walking yourself into your own prison camp. Then we're going to come down to the extermination, just like World War II.
Look at the smile on his face. Do you see that?
Well, Phil and I have lectured together. I know Phil's not. He's dead now.
Yeah, I know he's dead. And so what about what he was saying about the number of bases at that time? I think it was 129 bases before he died. Underground had already been built. Is that all for the elite?
Yeah.
Now check this out. Here in Pennsylvania, one of my jobs, because I work too, one of my jobs, my manager, she has a son that's a Freemason, and he's like in his 40s. Well, and the side of these hills up here, he bought some property, and he literally dug him out his own bunker. Dug out his own bunker, and he told her about it because he told her the time's come, they got to go and live in there. And she was telling me he's talking years. They're gonna be staying in those bunkers, right? And then over in Coudersport, where, like I said, if you look up the Klan on Google for Pennsylvania, that's where they are at, right? That's what would be one of the first things that would come up. There's a school teacher over there, and this woman has literally, spent fortune to dig out a bunker in the side of the hills that she owns. So, I mean, and this is all recent stuff. I'm telling you, like, these people know it's coming, and we need to be down there. I mean, look, it's just my own personal feeling. We need to be down there, like, in the lower part of New Mexico, where the Aztec stuff is. We need to be down there, lower part of Arizona, even down into just the lower part of Texas, until we get our stuff together and we can get out of here. Be around down there, because you'll hear why. You'll hear why.
Really?
What are they going to do with the rest of the people? They just get rid of them, leave them above ground, and be radiated. Now, my son happens to be a nuclear physicist. Spent the last 3.5 years in a secret city in Russia. They're about 12 years ahead of us. They have 22,000 nuclear warheads. And, of course,
Listen close.
The Soviets had 3 nuclear submarines on the west coast and 3 on the east coast. They're about 2 football fields in length, 5 stories tall, and they all are nuclear power and aimed at our major cities. West coast gone. Well, because the plan is...
Hear that? Aimed at your major cities. What does that Book of Jeremiah keep telling you? Stay away from the major cities. Stay away from the large cities, it says, right? Stay away from the cities. Stay out in the country.
The northern hemisphere is where they're going to release the nuclear bombs, and the theory was...
And this could be why that they, we heard 2 years ago, we kept hearing stuff about how, Russian submarines are up in the North Pole, and they were talking about, it's a fight for oil, they found oil up there. Canada was warning them, get out of here and stuff like that. And
that the winds from the North Pole that are coming down, because that's increasing drastically, will go to the equator, and there will be very little spillover.
You hear that? The winds from the North Pole are increasing. I thought we were going through global warming, right? But the winds from the North Pole are increasing, he says, right? Which, this is funny. I was opening my big fat mouth going off about this, to a few friends of mine. I was like, I've lived in Florida, a large part of my life. I've never seen a hurricane choose to want to run right up the middle of the state. Never in my life I want to see it, I've seen it decide, hey, this is the path I'm going to go. They always tell you they follow the current and the water and all that stuff. And, it all started with the whole, they're telling us that these hurricanes follow the same route that they took the slave ships from Africa right to the Americas. And once again, the whole fact that the Atlantic Ocean is named for being, out of control, the fact that the waves are massive, the fact that you have the Bermuda Triangle, all this stuff is coming into play. And then you 6 months, almost 9 months out of the year, you have hurricanes, you have tropical storms coming up between Africa and South America, you know what I'm saying, and making its way into the Gulf area there. Come on, give me a break, you know? Just give me a break. Quit fantasizing. You know, you're getting on my last nerves with that stuff. They're going to take Africans from Africa and bring them across the, you know, those dangerous waters, but yet you're going to take dogs from Spain and sail all the way through the Indian Ocean through the Pacific Ocean, I'm sorry, to California. Give me a break. You give a dog a safer voyage than the slaves you're coming here, you're bringing to make sure you put their butts to work. Like, I just like the stupidity. It's 2017 and it still just gets under my skin. It really does. Like, oh, I'm sorry. But anyways, you know, just like I was saying, this year, being up here in Pennsylvania, you know, on the New York state line there, we've only had like 4 or 5 days I can even tell you that we actually had that were in the 90s. Barely in the 80s this year. It's been cool, which also brings back the interviews I listened to about how Australia said if global warming is working the way that the United States scientists are saying it's working, the chemicals are being affected in the atmosphere the way they say it is. It's supposed to cool off the planet, not heat up the planet. So, you know, now my mind is like, who was telling the truth? The ones in Australia or the ones here? Can't trust either one of them, in my opinion, but hey, it's an interesting thought, you know? And then he's telling us the cold airs are going to start carrying down the biological weapons formed against us. And he's saying it with a smile on his face.
Because of the reverse of the winds, because of the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
So therefore, the nuclear radiation here will be a lot more than the southern hemisphere.
And this is a fait accompli, you believe?
Oh, they think so. Oh, yeah, they think they won. That's the reason why they don't bother about me talking.
And then think about this too, right? Isn't it just like the Simpsons episode where they had like was it a spillover? No, that was a nuclear plant. Never mind. That was a nuclear plant that caused that got radiation into food.
They don't care whether you know or not. What are you going to do about it? And you have no idea what China is until you go over there for yourself. With 1,300,000,000. You understand? Almost, well, a little over 4 times our population.
Right.
It's, you know, I spent some time over there and I had some government friends. They think what they're going to do is let the West go ahead its fight. And then they want to clean up. They say it's been 5,000 years. We want to run the world when they get through. And what they're doing, acquiring all the assets. Mm-hmm. They figure that Canada and the United
birth certificates,
States, the property there,
Social Security,
the food growing areas will be enough to take care of their people. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're looking at. Why are they? I mean, they bought the
so
oil.
the U.S. will become a resource. Yeah.
Whatever's left of it.
Whatever's left of it. Yeah. You seem to be in a unique position to be able to put a fair amount of this together, which is quite interesting.
Well, I walk my talk. I played the game.
You played the game. You know one level of it.
And I know. I used to play around with the world leaders, so I know what they're planning on doing.
What change of heart? What happened in you that made you decide to share this information?
So,
as it happens at the inside levels.
Well,
I want to show you this gentleman's page. I'm not trying to copyright anything.
If you write anything on your computer, you need to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much
come on.
all day.
Here we go. True Free Man, right? Been subscribed to his channel. Been watching some of his videos for quite some time now. His older videos, right back here to the start. When you go right to the start, you know, these are the ones that I think are really what we've been looking for, in my opinion. It seems to be a way to free yourself and do it without having to become a Moor, which is what I'm looking for. And I mean, I'll send out an email, and I'm gonna wait to hear from a response. But I mean, this is exactly what we need. I mean, we do the homework. We fill this stuff out. We put this together, but he's showing us how he did it from Indiana, you know, and how he did it from there, and then how we would go about doing it. Now, you know, of course, he tells us, you know, you got to know, you know, the state codes and stuff like that from which you're in, you know, because you're not all in Indiana. We're not all in, of course. So when you argue this stuff, you need to know what you are arguing. You need to know it really well. So, I mean, there's some cramming if we're running out of time, but it seems like this guy, I like his stuff. I like how he's explaining how you go about doing this. And so far, he's not shoving Moorish down your throat, you know. And I mean, so I just want to, put this out here and give him a shout out because, like I said, it seems like, if you go back and just start watching these videos from the start, it seems like he's got it together. And like I said, I like that because, I mean, man, just the other day I was listening to one of the new videos from Nasir, the Ducateers, which I do because he puts out books. He gives you books, to read that are incredible, that have a lot of the information. But some of the other stuff, man, like he's all, getting giddy about how this whole thing's about to fall apart and how this, we're going to come to a point where we that did not become Moors, and become, like the Mexicans are becoming Moors and all this stuff. We're going to be taking our children to the Moor and selling them to them so they can have a better life, in his words. And it's like, that is sick to be happy about something like that, So I'm just trying to free myself. I'm trying to free my sons and my wife. And like I said, just check them out. I mean, I have questions I want to ask. A lot of stuff is really self-explanatory on how to put your own stuff together. So anyways, take care, everybody. Peace and love. And let's try to gather together, and I mean, like, let's really try to do that. Let's try to come together and take over, or not take over, but inhabit like a whole entire state. So there won't be no people that live in the state that can rule over us that, you know what I'm saying? Like we live in one part of the state and they live in the other part. They pass laws that affect us in the part of the state we live in. No, let's just take over the whole thing. You know what I mean? Anyways, until we can get out. Anyways, everybody, peace and love. I love you all. Take care. And, shout out to all those that haven't given up, because it looks like it's tough. And to the Creator, to the I am that I am, I'm calling on you, man. I need your help. Higher, higher.